Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. I have a fun video for you. I've been messing around with some of our alcohol markers or blends, and I've come up with a way to make those blends look a little bit like the alcohol inks that you see out there sometimes using vellum. And so today I'd like to show you how to create those kinds of backgrounds. And then I have a couple of cards to share with you with the results of some of those backgrounds. So let's just get started. Okay, here is one of the backgrounds that I've created. And I used on this one my alcohol marker, my blend for the dark Mango Melody and then the dark Poppy Parade, and I've created this result. Now I'm just going to quickly show you some of the other results that I've managed to create and kind of what they look like. This is a card using Bermuda Bay and Mango Melody, and then I just put one of those Forever Greenery gold leaf relief pieces on there and created that as a birthday card. Then this one is one that I have done a purple, so Highland Heather and Shaded Spruce. And instead of putting it on a white background, and I left this corner a little bit loose so I could show you that if you put that on a white background, it would change it pretty dramatically. So there's an idea of what that would look like if it were on a white background. But on this one, I chose to add it to a Highland Heather background. And then I've used gilding flakes on here from the Touch of Ink stamp set to get this kind of a look. Now, my very next video, this will post on Friday, December or January 29th. So the one that will post on Tuesday, which is February 2nd, I'm going to do a video on the gilding flakes. And I've got lots of ideas for you on that. But today I want to concentrate on creating this background, and I'll show you one more when we're done here. And I'm just going to bring a piece of cardboard forward. Now this is one of those cardboard pieces that's behind your designer series paper, your foil, when you get it from Stampin' Up. I save these because it makes a great work surface to keep from getting everything all messy. Now what I've done is I took a piece of vellum, 8.5 by 11, and I cut it into 4 pieces. So I cut it at 4 1/4 and at 5 1/2. So we have 4 pieces to fool with. Now, it would be great fun, I think, to create a whole sheet of this technique to get one big giant background in one of these colors that I've created here. And then use it like a little one-sheet wonder to put, I'll show you the last one. I was going to hold off. But this one is using Moonlight, Misty Moonlight, and Granny Apple Green, and Night of Navy. And I've used just a piece of that. Well, here's another piece of it that could be put on some Misty Moonlight, and it would change the whole way that this one looks. Look how much darker that looks on there than that. I'm so excited about this treatment. And so I think you could make a half a sheet or a whole sheet of any one of these colors and do lots of different things. But I've been doing this 1/4 sheet at a time. So what do you need to do this? I'm going to recreate the purple and the green. So I have got my Shaded Spruce, dark Shaded Spruce blend, And then I have my Highland Heather Dark. And we're going to take one of these sheets, and I'm just going to take my blend, and I'm just going to scribble color all over this sheet. And it's there's nothing fancy about it. There's no need to be careful. Just get color down. Okay. Then I'm going to take my shaded spruce and I'm going to fill in some of those spots. And the only thing I would say to you is make sure that you get your corners covered and your edges covered, and we'll create this color bomb, if you will, here. And there we go. That is sufficient. Okay, and these markers, if you realize, have already some alcohol in them because that's their base. Now then, I am going to take a brush, and let's see, I'm going to use this brush, and it's just a little flat brush that's got sort of, they're a little stiff, the bristles on it. And I'm going to take this little container, and this is where I had some embossing powder that came in this container. And then on my desk, I always keep a bottle of alcohol, and the alcohol that I use is 90% alcohol. And I just buy it at the drugstore. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Walgreens, you can get it at the grocery store, you can get it almost any place. And that's more than enough alcohol. You can do this with just a little bit, but I'm going to do all 4 sheets and show you here what we're doing. So I'm going to dip my brush in the alcohol, and I'm going to go ahead and activate some of this ink that I have put here. And I'm just going to transfer some alcohol. In fact, you might want to use a little less than this if you're doing it, so that because you will eventually color the alcohol, and you might not want to do that. Or you might want to use that same bunch of alcohol to do a different color. You see the effects that I'm starting to get on here. And depending on how you treat the amount of alcohol that you have on here, you can let it drip a bit. You can scribble some more color down, and you can use your brush to create some ridges and some different kind of looks. Now, I've got just a baby wipe here to pick up these pieces that are kind of pooling along the ends here. It's going to create mud if I don't do that. And the good part about this particular technique is that this is isopropyl alcohol. So you can see spots on here already where this is starting to dry. So I'm going to pick this up and bring it closer so you can see that. Right down here, for instance, this is starting to dry, and I'm creating a little pool right there of muddy color because I picked it up and held it. Now, one of the things you can do, I'm going to hold this down here a little bit while I talk about this technique, and you can actually use your breath to blow some of the pools around and make different kinds of colors. And as soon as it's dry, like for instance, this part down here is dry, and let's say I wanted a little bit more green in this particular area, I can go back over that with my green, add a tiny bit of alcohol to that, and guess what? I've added green in that spot that I didn't have any before. And it gets a dark, almost wet look when it's very concentrated, like in here or somewhere along the edges, and it gets kind of a look, well, you can show you on this one, where it looks like it might still be wet, but it really isn't. And so you get those really dark bands of color. And in the time that we've been talking about this, this panel is nearly dry. So I'm just going to set it aside here and let it finish drying, and I'm going to bring another sheet over. I'm going to wipe off my brush here on my inky little handy wipe there and baby wipe, and wipe my brush off. And on this one, I think I'll use the Granny Apple Green and let's do another one of these. Well, let's see what happens if I do Granny Apple Green and yellow. So this is the Mango Melody, the dark Mango Melody. And so I'm going to start with that one and just add some of that color around on my card. And I just love the way these have come out. It's so much fun. And I'm going to cover up my, although that would be beautiful too. Let's do that. This is the super dark green, the shaded spruce. Now when yellow and green get together, sometimes they make blue. So when we add the alcohol, we're liable to get blue in between the yellow and green. Let's just see what we get. That's the fun of this. I sat here all afternoon, or part of the afternoon anyway, just sort of messing with different colors just to see what kind of a look I would get. So now I'm going back to my alcohol, and I am going to put my alcohol to these colors, and you can see I'm going to slide a piece of scratch paper underneath here because this cardboard isn't really giving you what this is going to do. You can see in places there where it's kind of turning this teal color. And just continue to add my alcohol. And by using some of the alcohol that's already down on the card, I'm going to pick up some of those colors and move them around. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So there we go. That is creating a very pretty kind of look. And I think I want some of this green right in here. And this one I haven't put near the amount of alcohol on, and it's going to dry quite a bit faster, I can tell. Now I'm going to bring back my purple piece here for a second so you can see it against the white, and isn't that pretty? Now let me show you, that piece is on white, and that's what it would look like. And then let me put it under Highland Heather, and that's what it would look like. I'm also going to just quick grab a piece of shaded spruce here and put shaded spruce behind it so you can get an idea of what that would look like. And there we go with the shaded spruce behind it. So you get completely different looks depending on how the vellum is backed. White, shaded spruce, and Highland Heather. Isn't that pretty? And so this piece is almost dry, and there's that against the shaded spruce, and that would be great fun against the yellow Daffodil Delight or the Mango Melody. Very, very pretty. And this one I'm going to speed up the drying just a bit by picking up some of that wet part there. Now I'm going to have both of those dry, and I'm going to bring one more forward, and I thought we could pick a couple of other colors. How about one of the magenta colors? Yeah, that's the dark magenta. I'm going to take my dark real red and the magenta and see what that looks like. It may be too much red. We'll see. In fact, maybe we'll introduce a third color on this one just to see what it does. I think if we add orange, we're liable to, or yellow, we might get a little bit of orange. So that is the dark magenta madness. And then I'm going to add the dark real red here. And I think this is one where you kind of can't go wrong. My guide on this is always Mother Nature. I look out my window and she has mixed all of her colors together. And they look fabulous in the garden in the summertime. So now I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow, and you may have to wipe your brushes off to get some, because it's going to pick up these other colors. It's going to be hard to get a lot of yellow down here. What a wild bunch of colors this one is. Okay, let's see what happens when we start mixing that together. And there's no reason that you cannot mix more colors together. Now I'm going to just use my alcohol to clean off my brush here a little bit. And let's go ahead and add some alcohol to this wild color scheme I've got going here. I'm not sure this is going to be my favorite, but I guess we won't know until we get it done. So it's pretty bright. And there we go. Isn't that wild? Oh my goodness. I think in the end it's going to be very pretty. So now I'm going to go back for a second here and show you the green one. The green and the yellow turned out this way, and I'm going to get that piece of white underneath here so you can see the colors in it. And then here is the one that we did in purple. Now when you have a piece that's this size, 4 by 5.5, unless you really want it to cover the whole front of your card, you're going to have to trim it down. So like on this one, I had to trim off an edge, so I put purple posy on the inside and just put a piece of that piece that I cut off of the front here on the purple posy as part of my decoration for the inside. But I think these are just beautiful. And wouldn't they make a lovely set of note cards? You know, if you did them in all one color, like a whole bunch of these, and then put them on white, on the green, on the purple, and just did, some of them would be smaller strips. I think you could just do a ton of things with these. And isn't that just gorgeous? So there is the purple and the green that we just made, the yellow and the green. Then this is one I had made before that was Mango Melody and Poppy Parade. And then now this one. This looks to be almost completely dry now. It looks like it's got just a few little wet spots left on it. But Isn't that just amazing? That on the white or on a different color background. I mean, it's just a matter of deciding what you'd like to try and put behind that to give the look that you want to get off of that. And so I'm going to move these out of the way now. And this technique it's not even terribly messy. It doesn't take, you saw how long that took. It doesn't take very long to do. And I'm going to clean up my brush here on the edge of my sheet here. Now you could do this on a craft sheet, or you could do it like on a laminated piece like that, because that'll clean right up. But I'm going to pick up these pieces and put the one I did last on top because it might still be a little bit of wet, and move these things out of the way and bring on, it's not too bad, not too messy here, and use my alcohol here to clean up some of my markers. And then I'm going to bring these back. So there is one of the sheets. There is another, and I'm going to mix the colors up a little bit here so we really see the 4 different ones. And then down below here, I'm going to show you again the cards that I made using this technique. And you can see by, and this is this one is this one, and this one is completely different. This again was Granny Apple, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy marker. But aren't those just amazing? And a simple, different kind of technique that really brings that alcohol ink. And then as a result of doing this kind of the gilding on the top of it starts to give you kind of a mixed media look. And I think they're absolutely stunningly beautiful. Anyway, that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. Right now, there's a great offer for joining, $125 worth of product for $99, plus 5 packages of designer series paper, 1 each in the 5 color families, and then some in the 2021-22 in colors. So the next video I have, maybe we'll use a couple of these backgrounds and a couple of other things. And this one was put together using the gilding flakes. So I'm probably going to end up with 2 or 3 in a row on the gilding flakes because there's so many ways they can be used. This I also used the gilding flakes on and just did some dashes of Versamark and the heat and stick powder. But there's lots of ways to use those gilding flakes. And so I thought maybe I would do a follow-on video where I showed how I got this kind of effect on this, and maybe we'll put it on another one of these backgrounds and see what it looks like. So this will post, it'll still be January. So my January prize is, it is bundle of your choice out of the new catalog, the new mini catalog. And how you get yourself in my drawing is to put an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. And so, again, that's it for me, and I will be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!